Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Heart to Heart with Hads. My mic's a little messed up. There we go. I'm so happy to have you here. This is episode number 8. That's freaking crazy to me. That means I've been consistent for 2 months. So, 8 weeks. I don't know if that's technically 2 months, but 8 weeks. I have not missed a week, so give me some claps. Um, but no, I want to start doing two a week. I feel like I've gotten in the groove, so I'm gonna start doing two a week. One will be a little bit longer, and then one will be a little bit shorter. So short, as in short, I mean like 5 to 10 minutes, like very like just statement, like how I'm feeling for the day. Hopefully to kind of get you started on the right foot for the day, whether it's like you're driving to work, like your 10-minute drive to work, or whatever it may be. Um, so yeah, I think today's episode I want to do a Q&A. I've gotten a lot of questions for um on the podcast Instagram. A lot more than I thought. And this was when I had first started it. So this is Q&A episode, first Q&A episode, and I'm really excited to do this. It's going to be very exciting. So I've gone over like 30 questions. So I may not answer all of them. Some of them are the same. So we'll see. Okay. First question is, what was your inspiration on starting this platform podcast? So, if I'm going to be honest, I don't know how much of an inspiration, like if I had an actual inspiration or if I just was like kind of wanted to go out on a limb here and try something new. I do think, though, that my biggest reason behind starting the podcast and the platform is just knowing that I have a lot to say. I have a platform for health and all of that through like Instagram, through my Health with Hats page, if you follow it. And I wanted to have something completely separate that does tie in a little bit of fitness and health, but also just ties in like who I am as a person, because I think a lot of people, they only see me on Instagram as like this fit, healthy person, bodybuilder girl, but they don't really know me for me and who I am. And I just know that so many people can relate to me on a different level that's not gym and fitness. And I just wanted to be that kind of safe spot almost, and someone that's gonna push you to be better too, because I don't just strive for greatness within sports and things like that. I strive for greatness in every aspect of my life. And so sharing those insights on how I do those types of things, and then just like life lessons that I learn throughout my journey are just very invaluable. And I want to share those because I want to share my experiences because maybe it can resonate with you. So I feel like that was my biggest thing for starting the podcast. And my mom would always be like, do we need to have a heart to heart? I think I mentioned this in the first episode, but it kind of just stuck with me in H's and hads, and it all just kind of flowed together how I wanted it to. And yeah, I think that's really why I wanted to start it, just to shed some light, I guess you could say, on anything and everything. So, not just health and fitness, but life in general. That's really why I wanted to start this podcast. And because I already know that I lead people, like I've always been a natural born leader, and I think this is something that just helps magnify that in a different way. Yeah, I would say that's a good explanation. Okay. This is a good one. So, how to rebalance hormones after coming off of birth control. So, this is difficult and this is very person dependent. But for me, it took about 3 months to come off, sorry, not come off. So, once I actually stopped birth control, it took 3 months for my period to come back. And let me just tell you, I was an emotional wreck. Like, I would cry over the dumbest shit. I would get mad over the dumbest shit. It was so hard. And honestly, I didn't really do a ton to help necessarily balance out hormones during that time. I think some things that I probably could have included, which I would do now, is sorry, what I can't even speak right now. I think chasteberry would be really good. And then just making sure that you're eating nutrient dense foods. And there's actually this book called Beyond the Pill, and I have yet to read it, but this is something that I would definitely look into. And this is something that I am going to read so I can be a little bit more knowledgeable on this. But when coming off of birth control, your body is trying to get back to its baseline, I guess you could say, of its natural hormone levels. So, whenever you're on birth control, your natural hormones are shot because you are putting in synthetic hormones into your body from the birth control. So, this is down regulating your normal production of your sex hormones. Sorry, excuse me. So, with that being said, once you come off, it's going to take your body a pretty long while to get back to where it was before. So just you have to give yourself grace. But eating nutrient dense foods, foods that are really high in iron, so like your red meat, eggs, salmon, like omega 3s, all those are really crucial. And then just doing like a full on detox. And I know people are like, detox is so stupid. But no, doing a detox once coming off birth control can be amazing because birth control is also hurting your liver, and so you need to be able to detoxify your liver. Some things you can do to help with detoxifying your liver is taking NAC. And then also there is a supplement from New Ethics that you can take, and it's called Medipure, and that's something that I would recommend. If you're on birth control, you could do that. Um, Doing that like every so often, every 6 months or so, just to help detoxify and get everything out. Um, but that's really all I would say to do. Maybe get a liver support supplement just to help as well. Get your blood work done. Really see where your levels are at. I think this is going to be huge because everyone's body is very different when it does come to hormone levels. So some people may not be as affected as others. But if you were on birth control, you're coming off, your body is most likely in a very sensitive spot. So taking time to nourish it, allow proper time for rest and recovery, and just, I wouldn't say pull back on your training, but just be very mindful. Like, we don't want to put additional stress on our body while we're also trying to come off the pill. So that's my 2 cents there. Obviously, find a coach if you want additional help with that. And like I said, get your blood work done, have someone that knows what they're doing go over them with you so they can help you, get you the right supplementation, the right protocols, all of that good stuff. So I hope that made sense. I'm not 100% well versed on that. All I know is from experience on myself. So that's that. Um, and then, okay, here's the next question. What motivates you to keep going on the days you don't want to? Now, this is a really good question. I'm not even going to lie, some days are really low. Like yesterday was a really low day for me. I didn't want to do anything, and I didn't do anything. And the whole day I was like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of feeling a little bit like bad about myself because I'm not doing anything today. And it's like, I had this day off. I should be doing this, that, and the other. And all I could do was lay around because my body was just so worn down. So, really, that's a whole different scenario. But on days that I really like don't want to go to the gym, or I don't want to eat right, I think about my why. And I don't know how many times I have to say this, but you keeping your why in the back of your mind at all times is huge. And if you don't have a why, there's your issue right there. You can't continuously try and do this day in and day out if your why is not strong enough. This is the pillar of all of your actions. So I strongly encourage you to find this. And if you're just someone that's like, oh, I just want to go to the gym, because I want to do XYZ. Well, is your why actually strong, or is it kind of like a silly why? Are you doing this for someone else? Or are you doing it for you? Like, you have to get set in stone why you're doing what you're doing. So that's my answer on that one. The next one. I'm not going to answer all of these. So, what were your feelings when you stepped away from competitive cheer? This is a really good one, honestly, because my last like competitive cheer competition when I was actually cheering was during COVID. So it was very unexpected and abrupt. I think had we had the full season out like we were supposed to, I think my feelings towards it would have been maybe more bittersweet instead of bitter. So whenever the season ended, I was just very sad, upset, like there was nothing we could do about it. And so yeah, I guess that's that. Had it been like more, like I said, set in stone, like we had our last competition, it was done. I think um, the biggest thing that I felt was just like, so what am I gonna do now? Obviously, I went to school and I cheered for 1 year, and we did have a competitive team then. But I think when my feelings, honestly, when I was done, was I was burnt out. Okay, my mom had opened the competitive cheer gym business, whatever, before I was born, and I was kind of just brought into it, and which is completely fine. I love it. Was my whole life basically. I felt like my identity, but I was just burnt out. I was tired of doing it, like the same thing all the time. So that's kind of just where I was at with it after doing it for so long, being grown up in it and around it. It's kind of just like, all right, I'm tired of this. I'm ready to move on. Like, it's time to go. And so once I stepped away, it was like, well, what am I going to do now? Like, I don't have this thing that I have to go do that I'm committed to every single day. I don't have practice. Like, it's hard to be, self disciplined. And so I think that's really when I started to learn, like, this self discipline aspect of going to the gym and training and tracking my food and all of this. This is where that came in. And it's kind of different than cheer because cheer is a team sport and bodybuilding is an individual sport. So like shifting my mindset there to like no one else is going to do it for me. Like I can't rely on all these other people to help, you know, get a win. It's you, literally you, your mind, your thoughts. No one else can do the work for you. And so I think that was the biggest challenge going from cheer to bodybuilding. So that was kind of a tangent on that question, because I totally stepped away, or I totally shied away from that question that was even being asked. I feel like, um, okay, what's next? Oh, what's the best advice you wish you could give yourself 4 years ago? Yikes. Slow down. I think that would be my biggest thing because when I was 4 years from now, it would be 2021. That's when I would be like 18, essentially. I would say slow down and really identify what you want to do, not what somebody else did, not what somebody else wants, truly focusing on what you want. And I think that this kind of goes back to the cheer thing. Like, I wanted to follow my sister's footsteps. I wanted to go to K State and do cheer and, really make that me and who I am. But the more that I got into it, the more I thought about it, I was like, this isn't me. Like, I feel like I'm not really following the path that I'm supposed to be on. So, focusing on you for one and doing exactly what you want to do, but also being very present in the now and where you are. Because I remember just growing up always wanting to be like somewhere else 5 years from now. Like, I can't wait till I'm old enough to do this, and I can't wait till I'm old enough to do that. And I think kind of what stemmed that, the more that I think about it, this is like not that deep, but I feel like it's kind of deep to me, is like my parents were like, when you can't do this until you get this age. because they had set these expectations up for my sister. And so I think I'd always had these just like timelines of anticipating things when I turned this age or when I did this or when I did that. And you know what? That brings me to another point, like another recollection I just had. When I was, I don't know, it was before my fourth or fifth birthday, I was like, I would suck my thumb all the time. And I was like, you know what? When I turn blank, I'm gonna stop sucking my thumb. And so I feel like that, like that vivid memory when you're younger and you like do these things, they carry over on into your life in other ways. And so that really totally makes sense as to why I would set these deadlines and timelines. And when I turn this age, I'm gonna do this and that instead of just being like right now. Um, and so I think that's what I would tell my younger self is to just be exactly where you are and stop trying to grow up, because now that I am a little bit more grown up, I'm like, oh, I kind of wish I could go back and not have the worries that I have now. So slow down and be in the now is what I would say. My throat's hurting from talking too much. I think this wears me out sometimes. It's hard to podcast like solo because you're talking so much by yourself. I've also had a little bit of a cold over the past couple of days, so I'm a little sniffly. Um, okay, next question. Um, I want to learn the right way to cut bulk macros. Where do you start? Internet is so confusing. This is a good one. So, this can be a little bit tricky. And I've been tracking my food for a really long time, like 4 years now in the making. And when I started, I was just like, going off what my fitness pal said to do for like the suggested calories when I typed in my weight and all of that. And so I was doing that and I was like, this is not doing shit. Like, I'm not losing weight, I'm not getting any leaner. And so then I would like just start cutting them. So I would drop like I dropped them down, say from like 2,000 calories to 1,600. And then I was like, or 1,800, I don't know. And then I started losing fat. And I was like, okay, like this is working, this is working. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm not leaning out anymore. And so then I would drop them again. And I kind of just went in this continuous cycle of dropping them until I just got the results that I was wanting to see, which, by the way, were not healthy, but I still was able to like lose body fat in the process of learning how to do this. So it's all very trial and error. If you don't have a coach, someone to guide you, there you go. That's how you do it. That's how you cut down your food. And if you tell me that you don't have the time or you don't have the energy or you don't want to track your food, then you don't care enough, okay? You don't care enough. And I'm sorry, but to some people that are going to tell me, yeah, I'm not going to wear my food, I'm not going to do all that, then you don't care. You don't care enough to lose weight. And I'm sorry, but that's just the facts. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at yourself because I don't know what else to tell you. Sorry. I'm going to be a little bit of a biatch about that because I truly believe that tracking your food, weighing out your food is going to be the best tool for losing body fat and gaining muscle, okay? And if you need help on that, hit me up. I'll help you. I'm a coach. I'll coach you through the shit. But you can't tell me that you are not going to track because that's just like, I don't know what analogy that's like. You like riding a bike and you're riding like a tricycle and your back two tires are flat. You're still riding, but you're not doing very good because you don't have the necessary tools. So, yeah, get that in your head. Anyways, sorry, I went off on a little bit of a rant there. Oh, this is a fun one. How do you make gym friends? So, when I got back home from K State, I went to Bossa, which is now closed. Very sad. But I started going there because I don't know who was going there. I think one of my friends that I had known was going there. And then I like made, I had my Health with Hats page, and then people, start following you and you're posting, and then they see you at the gym. And then I really just built up this community of people. And I'm not saying you have to start like a fitness page, but kind of just be nice. Like tell someone you like their shoes or their bag and or something. And that's how I feel like a lot of people have kind of met me too, not just through Instagram, but just being nice to people at the gym and telling them, like complimenting them and all of that. Most of the time, like they're very nice too, and they're probably like wanting a sense of community and another gym friend. Now, I really don't like to talk at the gym. I'm sorry if you're gonna talk to me. I get just a little bit frustrated, a little bit annoyed. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't get frustrated or I don't get annoyed, but whenever it's taking away from my time at the gym, then I get a little mad. But since I've been going in the mornings, I truly don't see many people that I used to see. And like half the people that I went to the gym with don't even go to the same gym now. So it's kind of just sad. But I will say most of the people, most of my gym friends have came from me too, also working at a supplement store, me just being present within like the fitness community in where I live. That has helped a ton. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm very blessed. The more I think about that, the more that I really feel blessed to um, have this like sense of community with like-minded individuals. It's very, very exciting, and I'm very grateful to have that. Okay, what's next? Fave apps to use: tracking, entertainment, editing, education, meditation, etc. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. My favorite app to use for tracking my food is MyFitnessPal. I have the premium or the pro version, whatever it is, just because it like very detailed on your protein, carbs, fats, and like your micronutrients. Each meal breakdown. You can scan barcodes, all the things. It's very, very helpful, and I love it. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm recording this. It's 8:11 and I'll be in bed here by 9. So, need to start wrapping it up, but I have so many more questions to answer here. Um, and then for like tracking my sleep and steps and things like that, or ring, plug or ring here. They are expensive, but I think they're worth it. So maybe ask for that for a Christmas gift. Save some money, invest in that. I love it. Tracks my sleep, my cycles. I also use Natural Cycles app for tracking cycles. Entertainment. Favorite apps used for entertainment? I don't really know. I just get on Instagram, sometimes TikTok, if I'm feeling like it. Probably like once a week, if that, or once every couple weeks. Very hit or miss there. Maybe I'll get back into that. I'm not quite sure. As far as like watching TV and stuff, I am not gonna lie. Like I never watch TV. I don't. I never really have been a really big TV watcher. So, and as far as editing goes, so I use Canva a lot. I have Canva Pro. I love graphic design type of things. It kind of fits my marketing degree a little bit. I like to use CapCut, use the pro version there for all of editing my reels and for editing my like podcast videos. I use that. And I also just use iMovie whenever I need to upload my podcast to um, YouTube. I have to like sync the sounds together. But those what I feel like are the best. Education, I really only use my um I like get education courses or like things from people or mentors that I follow on Instagram that are very well versed in coaching and things like that. Um, and then through where I got my personal training certification, I do like continued education courses through that to make sure that I'm staying up to date just with everything, fitness, nutrition, all of that. Meditation. So I guess it's not really an app. Um, Meditation I use. It costs, by the way. Headspace. Love it. I need to incorporate it more, if I'm going to be completely honest. I'm so sorry that I'm just yawning all the way through this. Okay. What's next? What is my biggest fear? This is a really good one. My biggest fear would probably be getting to the end of my life, whatever day that may be. You never know when your last day is going to be. And realizing that I wasn't there for my people. I didn't show up how I wanted to. I didn't do the things I wanted to do. Basically, just living a life full of regret. And so that's kind of just another good reason for me to start this podcast is to like live outside of the norms, break free, do the things that you truly want to do, and don't let anybody or anything hold you back. I feel like that's what I'm most scared of for sure. It's just not fully living and doing what I genuinely want to do. And so I'm excited that I'm able to finally do that and break free and let it roll. Like, let this shit happen. That's a good one. Really good one. Okay. This is a really good one because I feel like I don't truly know this. How to figure out your purpose. And I feel like this could be a whole episode on its own. So thanks for giving me that good inspo. I'm actually going to screenshot this. How to figure out your purpose is really hard. You kind of have to dig deep on what brings you joy. Do you like helping people? Do you like helping animals? Do you like being creative? What is it that truly sparks your fire and that you love to do? For me, it's I love helping people and I love them realizing their own potential because I know that I loved the feeling whenever someone believed in me and really pushed me to my best and to my limits. And so I want to be that person for somebody else and I want to be their mentor, their someone they can look to for guidance. I just love that feeling of being a leader and I've always been a leader, a natural born leader since I was younger. And that's my purpose. I feel like that's my purpose. But you kind of have to really dive deep into who you are, what you like, and what you don't like. And from there, come up with something that just lights your fire. So, like I said, I'm going to go dive deeper into that into a full episode because that's a really good one. Breaking bad food habits. This is a good one. So, going back to the why thing, you have to have a deep rooted why. And if it's not strong enough, if you truly, it's not something that you put high on your priority list to do, then you simply are just not going to make these right decisions, these not eating terrible foods all the time. And for me, it's like I said, my why is bigger than the little temptations. Obviously, I'm not perfect and I do have off track meals and I do eat things that aren't the best nutrients, but I would say 98, 99% of the time, I'm strictly eating foods that fuel me and my performance, my gut health, and the way I think and the way I learn, all of that. It all matters. So you have to just really, really dig deep into why you even want to eat healthy and have great food habits in the first place. And another reason for me is I don't like to be like everyone else. And I'll continue to say this until I die. If you are eating like shit, you're just like everyone else. You're like the rest of the world. You don't really care about how you look or how you feel. And you're just going to keep following the societal norms. Ask yourself this question. Do you really want to be like everybody else? Why? Why do you want to be like everyone else? If not, change your freaking habits. It starts with habit replacing, okay? Say you eat chocolate at this time every night. Okay, you can still eat this time every night. Replace chocolate with these freaking blueberries or this piece of fruit. Like, Just because you have a bad habit doesn't mean you just cancel it out. No, replace that habit with something else, with something that's better and that's going to serve you in the long run. So that's what I have about habits, okay? You have to be strong and firm on your goals, on your why, on your dreams, on your vision, and then make it happen, make it come to fruition. If it's not deep enough, you simply are not going to make progress on it, okay? That's all I got there. I know I keep getting like angry and like worked up on these questions. I'm not mad. It's just like I'm very passionate about it. Okay. What drives me to be different? This is a really good one because I feel like I've always wanted to just have that little itch to be different from everybody else. And I don't know what it is. I don't necessarily know what drives me to be different. This is a really hard question. I think it's just the fear of wanting to be like everyone else and the fear of knowing that I have so much potential and being different, being an outlier is just so much more fun, so much more cool. People look at you in a different way. And I love that. I don't like to be basic, okay? I don't like it at all. Um I don't know the reasoning. That's a deep question, and the person who asks this always asks me deep questions, and it takes me a while to really sit with these and kind of process exactly what the question is. So these are some things I'm just gonna have to like journal and really hone in on. So yeah. Okay, just a couple more questions here. Let's see. How to create a productive everyday routine. So I like to time block out my days, and I'm not the best at this. I'm getting better at this slowly and slowly. Um, but time block out your days. So for me, I can just kind of go through my day, day in the life. I'll pull up my Google Calendar and what it looks like. So I have 5:30, wake up. 5:30 to 6, wake up. And depending on if I go to the gym or not, it's 6 to 7:30 is gym or 6 to 7:30 is deep work block. And then I get home at 7:30. I do 15 minutes. I give myself 15 minutes to journal, all of that. Um, and then I start to get ready for work. So I will make my breakfast, get ready, and get ready to go out for the day. Now, since this is my last week of my 9 to 5 job and strictly going into coaching after this week, I'm going to change this up. So that's going to be very exciting to fully be able to do the things that I really want to do and set my own hours. That'll be very amazing. But then, so I'm at work 12 to 12:30, or one I have lunch and recharge. I will. I'm supposed to be recharging during this, but I'll likely like make my posts or my reels for the following day. Then when I get home from work, I do client check-ins, or I'll do client check-ins at client, not client, athlete check-ins. Um, I will do those during my lunch hour or when I get back home. So, and then I'll have another deep or flexible work block. So, knocking out anything I need to get done, doing my continued education, reading, any more athlete check ins that I have, recording podcasts, editing, all of that stuff. And then setting time, 30 minutes to kind of debrief, get off my phone, read, walk, just kind of wind down for the night. And then I go to bed and I do it again. And I do this Monday through Friday. Saturday is just a little bit different, but that's kind of the gist of it. So, yeah, it's very, very structured, and I feel like I strive on structure, and this just helps me be more productive. And I set my phone on do not disturb. That's another way that I increase my productivity is putting my phone up. And it can be very difficult, I'm not going to lie, but I've gotten a lot better on it. So I'm proud of myself for that one. But I think that's all the questions that I'm going to ask. I hope that was valuable and insightful in those. I also realized I didn't give a little recap on my weekend. If you watched or listened to the last episode, we were in Chattanooga, Tennessee for my best friend Lakin's um, bodybuilding show. And oh my gosh, I'm so tired. We had a lot of fun. She didn't come away with the placing that we liked, but it doesn't matter. Like, I had a lot of time to ponder and think on the weekend, and there's just so much. Obviously, we want to win, but at the same time, there's so much more to life. Like, good friends, good times, like, just living and being present, and like having the opportunity to do the things that we do. I just kept going back to that. Like, we are so we are so blessed to do this sport, to be able to travel, to be able to make ends meet, to where we can do all of these things that not many people could probably say they get to do. And so that's just something I kept reflecting and telling myself over and over again, is like, I'm so blessed to be able to even travel and be here with her. But like, we're both also very blessed to be able to participate in the sport. Like, and it's not going to come overnight. And I know that these athletes that are at this top tier level has taken them a long time. So I just keep reminding myself of that too. Like, it's all a learning process, and it's such a long game. And I think we're both in it for the long haul. And so it was a fun time. I had a little bit of a cold, still kind of having a little bit of sniffles. So, but I really loved it. It was an amazing time. But I'm glad to be back home. And hopefully I can get rested up because I've got two back-to-back trips next week and the week after. So I'm gonna have to start cranking out these episodes because I'm not taking my mic again to our next 2 weeks of trips. So I'm probably going to have to record. So that you'll be listening to this on a Friday. I'll probably be recording again in 2 days. And then when I get back from my first trip, I'll have a 1 day in between, and I'll be podcasting, hopefully recapping that, and that'll be so much fun. So I'm a little bit anxious about traveling these 2 weeks because I'm just a tad bit of a perfectionist. I like to make sure everything's perfect, but I'm really, really, really going to focus on just going with the flow, not having any set expectations, and really being present in the moment because we'll never get those moments again. And that's where I'm going to end this episode with because I hear the dogs whining, and that's just a good little note to wrap up on. So, hope you guys enjoyed this episode, this Q&A. If you want me to do another Q&A, I will definitely do that. And I want you to ask me deep questions because that's what makes it fun, and that's what's different about it. So, love y'all. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.